Let's be honest, shotguns ain't what they used to be. This has to be one of the most requested videos on my channel. TikTak, are shotguns still good? Can you show us a shotgun build? Shotguns, 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 and I am going to do my best here. Shotgun characters and shotguns were originally, before this update, considered one of the best classes in the entire game. They had a ton of perks that made them awesome: crit chance, crit damage, bonus damage. They had armor, they had movement speed, shockwave, and warcry. The characters were top tier to say the least. However, things are just not the same. But I'm going to do my absolute best to bring you what I think is one of the most viable shotgun builds in the game. And if you guys remember the last build video, it's no longer going to be the absolute best, but this is the build that I run. As always, I'm going to try to bring you different perks and weapons and characters that you could supplement if you do not have what we're talking about. And sadly, this character, this loadout, is built around 3 specific weapons. 2 of them you can get right now. 1 of them, if you don't have it, it's okay. We'll figure out another gun for you. Let's get into the video right now. Let's talk about some shotguns, shall we? We're going to focus on 3 different guns for this build. Each perk in the hero loadout, when we get to that part, has a specific purpose in this build. First up, let's talk about the Room Sweeper. The Room Sweeper, if you do not have it, you can get it out of the collection book. It is a base gun. I have fire rate, magazine size, and crit rating on mine. Do you have to roll it exactly like this? No, except for this magazine size. For this build to work, you need this perk. Let's talk about the helium shotgun. This is considered, and probably still is, the best shotgun in the game. It hits for 588,000 damage per shot. It's kind of nuts. Every build in this is going to have crit rating and crit damage, and mainly magazine size, and we'll talk about that in a moment. The last one we're going to talk about is the Stalwart Squire. This is the one you might not have, and originally I hated this gun. I just don't like it. It has small hit detection issues, but the damage it produces is just on another level. 1.4 million damage per shot in a full group. A level 100 smasher has about 1 million health, so this technically can one-shot it, and it has less than a second reload speed. I don't want to talk about too much about the guns. These are the ones I use. If there needs to be a replacement gun, we'll talk about that in the hero loadout. Let's get into that. Let me be honest for a second. I like to try to bring you guys the best stuff in the game. That's why I have a couple of series called The Best Whatever. However, there's just too many loadouts, too many opinions to consider anything the best. It all comes down to playstyle. And I like seeing big numbers and doing an insane amount of damage. So this is my build. This build will one-shot smashers and does over 900,000 damage per second with the Room Sweeper. It's absolutely fantastic, but it has very little survivability. Maybe some of the perks are a little redundant, but you can change them if you want to. We're going to start from the bottom and work our way up. Let's start off with this one. Waste Not, Want Not increases magazine size by 30%. We are using this perk specifically for the Room Sweeper. We need over 40 to 50 bullets to get the best amount of damage out of this build. And that's going to be because of startup, but we'll get there in a second. Shell Shock is real simple, increases shotgun damage by 17%. Remember, I run it with 3 different shotguns and I use each one per different situation. Startup is every shot increases ranged weapon damage by 1% up to a maximum of 25 stacks. This is used specifically for the Room Sweeper. You're going to have more than 25 bullets and each one gives you a stack of this. It is a fantastic perk to use with the Room Sweeper, and only the Room Sweeper. If you do not have the Room Sweeper, if you do not like the Room Sweeper, you can attempt to use this perk on a Tiger Jaw, but you will not be getting the same maximum DPS. Locked and Reloaded is another one that is fantastic for the Squire and the Helium Shotgun. Both of those guns have individual reloads, and the Squire itself only has one bullet. If you do not have a Squire, you can pick up a Dragoon, an Old Smoky, or anything else that is 2 shots or 1 shots, and be able to get both bullets out within that 5 seconds. An extra 15% weapon damage is a lot for every reload. And this is where the build gets really interesting, in my opinion. Reloads with an empty magazine regenerate 13.5%. However, this character currently, and I don't know if it's intended or not, gives you a reload boost as well. So you have a reload boost plus a little bit of survivability by 13.5% of your shield when you reload. Since you're going to be using a Squire and a Helium Shotgun, you will be reloading a lot. In fact, the maximum amount of DPS you can with the Helium Shotgun is shoot, reload, shoot, reload, shoot, reload. Since you're not reloading the entire magazine and just what you shot, it works out beautifully. These are the characters I want you guys to try out. If you have all of these, please try out this build. It is insane. Since In a Pinch might be a little bugged, let's talk about what you might want to put in here if they ever fix that. But please know that we do not know what's coming out soon. There might be a character with reload speed coming out next week. We don't know. And as soon as that comes out, that's what you would place in this slot. However, let's take a look at, if that never happens, what you would place in here. My personal favorite is I would change it to Warcry until a reload speed perk comes out. An extra 6 seconds, that's what you get from this on Warcry. Gives you a huge boost in damage, especially with the build we're doing. We're putting out a lot of damage real quick with either 1 bullet or a ton of bullets really fast. You can probably empty the clip on the Room Sweeper in about 6 seconds. So having an extra 6 seconds to do that makes you able to empty maybe 3 clips instead of 2. Now, before we wrap up, I'm going to hit you with a little more boom knowledge. I know you guys want to see what other guns you could use, so let's talk about them. First up is the 2-step. This would replace your Room Sweeper. It has a lot less ammo per second, so it might be useful. Do not look at the rolls here. These are some of my test guns, and I'll just tell you what to put on here. Fire rate is acceptable. You're definitely going to want magazine size. It'll put you at 42 bullets or 41 bullets, which is enough to take advantage of the startup perk. You don't have to put it water or anything like that, and make sure this is crit chance to use this if you want to use the Room Sweeper. I did not test this, and I should have. I completely forgot about this weapon. Another one you can look at is the Disintegrator. This would replace your Helium Shotgun. So if you already have one of these perked up, it explodes. It does not pierce, but it does do AoE damage. I do not have one of these leveled up. I should, I just don't, because I have the Helium Shotgun and I prefer that. I've played with plenty of these, but if you do not have the Helium Shotgun or you don't want to get one, this is definitely acceptable. So another one you can do for the single shot is the Dragoon. This gun's fantastic. I don't like these weapons per se. That's why I didn't like the Squire when it first came out. But this weapon hits like a truck. Its spread and hitbox is nuts. If you have one of these, level it up. If you do not, there are other base models in the game that you can get out of your collection book that are similar, but they have been power creep because this thing can roll better. You can absolutely use the Bear. Again, it's been power creep to all hell, but it used to be the hardest hitting shotgun in the game. I have this one. This is a legacy one, and it was fantastic for when it was working. Now it gets outclassed by a lot of different guns, but this one's a fun one. I should try this as well. The Tiger Jaw is another replacement for your Room Sweeper. You will not have nearly the same magazine size, but it'll be close enough to where you can get at least some of the benefit from startup. So if you have one of these leveled up and you just want to try this build without investing heavily into it, you can try this as well. And that's really it, guys. This video is done in the books. Brought you all of that boom knowledge that you need. This is what I like to run. This is my shotgun build, and it does work. You can change out any perk you'd like if you want more survivability, if you don't think one works, if you want more Warcry buffs, feel free to do so. If you have any constructive criticism and you want me to check out another build or something like that, let me know down in the comments below. I will 100% get back to you, I promise. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you guys want to check out my stream and this kind of testing that we do live, it is a complete turnaround from my video style. It's loud, it's fun, and we have a great time, and we'd love to have you. Twitch.tv/RoundedTikTak. And lastly, if you're looking for people to play with, if you're sick of AFKers, if you're sick of leechers, the Discord link is in the description below. 1,500 people. Come, get acquainted, have some fun. I'll see you on the next one. TikTak out.